Hello comments, welcome back to another video. Today I am interviewing members of the district office. I was unaware of what they did. I'm sure that many of you also don't know what they do. So I went to see what they did, and I hope you enjoy the video.
I'm Gretchen Burchall, and in the business office, my role is accounting specialist, which basically means I pay the bills for the district. My typical day changes from day to day, which I actually like a lot. I do a lot of paying bills in the system, so I'm in an accounting system where I'm entering an invoice and the dollar amount that we're paying and make sure that those everything gets paid. I have teachers ask questions before they put in an order for something that they might need to purchase. I work a little bit with some of our construction folks because they do send invoices to me, and if I have questions on them, I have questions that some might go to our Director of Buildings and Grounds, some might go directly to the people that are actually invoicing us. I do get a lot of phone calls, some from outside vendors asking where our money is, if they haven't gotten paid yet, or asking about a specific invoice. So a lot of computer work. We have board meetings about twice a month, and at those board meetings, the board members get to see all the bills that we're going to be paying, and once those are approved, I either send an ACH direct deposit to the bank, or put the checks in envelopes and put stamps on them and mail those out.
I'm Sarah Aspengren. I am the District Administrative Assistant as well as the School Board Secretary. My day varies through the course of the days that go by. Usually I am able to, of course, answer the phones and greet people as they come into the district office. We have lots of visitors that come through that might need help with their payroll or might need help mailing a package or just various things, and that's a fun thing to get to do, to be able to greet people as they come in. And then throughout the day I work on school board meetings that might be coming up. We have 2 school board meetings a month that are just about every other week, and a lot of times that entails getting lots of information ready for those board packets and just answering emails and helping people as they reach out. So
Nice.
yeah.
I mean,
I know. I don't
do you have any
know what else to say.
specific least favorite times of the year? I guess I don't know.
Least favorite times of the year. Our summer in the district office, believe it or not, is really busy, and maybe Mrs. Wood will talk a little more about that, but it's just a really busy time. People think that we don't work in the summer, or it might be really quiet, and that's a lie. It's very busy. So, but it's also gearing up for August. It's a really exciting time because then we get to see all of our teachers back.
I am the Director of Business Affairs. I oversee the district's finances and make sure that everything we do follows the rules and regulations that are set forth for Iowa school districts, either at the federal government level, the Iowa level, or by our own board of directors. My typical day is not typically typical at all. Each day I'm at the mercy of what all of our other district staff members are doing, what purchases are being made, the revenues that are coming in. We receive revenues from the state, we receive revenues from the federal government, we receive revenues from taxes, real estate taxes and sales tax, and making sure that everything that we spend or receive in is coded according to the pool of money that is coming in. So making sure that we're following all those rules and regulations on a daily basis. As money comes into the school district, we determine where that money is coming from. We make sure it is coded appropriately, because then when we spend that money, it has to be spent in a certain way. So then we make sure that as we spend dollars, that they are coming out of the correct pot of money. When we get to the end of the school year, we have what's called the CAR report. It's a certified annual report. So everybody in the district office actually is working full-time and overtime through the summer because that report is really huge. And it takes us all summer to get through that, and it's due on September 15th, so we do a lot of celebrating when that date comes. We also have a finance committee, and that committee helps determine how we're going to spend money as well, and it might be the big projects, and it might be the first step in talking about what are our needs. Do we need to build new buildings? Do we need to refinish the track? What do we need to do? Because we don't have an unlimited amount of money, so then we have to go through and determine what are the priorities. So that is something that the finance committee does. We also have auditors that come in and audit our books every year. So when I talk about these rules and regulations, we have somebody that's coming in behind us and making sure that we really are doing our jobs. We do set budgets for the school each year, so you might hear different teachers talking about their little piece of the budget, and then in the district office, we pull everybody's budgets together to create the overall budget for the school district. And we publish that. That is all takes place at board meetings, and then we have to stay within those budgets throughout the year. So as you get towards the end of the fiscal year, you might be saying, hey, you're getting down towards the end of your budget, and that's because we have published it, we have filed it at the state level, so we have to stay within those guidelines.
My position is Payroll Specialist, and I also do accounts receivable. My typical day is completing payroll twice a month. Involves a lot of verifying timesheets, reaching out if I have any questions, pulling a sub-report, pulling unpaid days reports, pulling hourly, counting bus routes. What else is there? She answers all my questions. A lot of Kirsten is new, so I've been fielding a lot of questions for her.
Mm-hmm.
The once a month we have invoices from all of our benefits, so I have to balance our medical, vision, dental, and those kind of bills with what comes out of payroll. It's very time consuming. And then the other part of my job is accounts receivable, so all the money that comes in, I take the deposit slips and enter them into the system so that Chris can balance with the bank statements when they come in.
So I work as human resources. I'm an HR generalist at the district office. It really varies quite a bit. Ultimately, my job is to make sure that employees are taken care of within the district, right? So once I hear that we're going to hire someone, I onboard them, I help them understand their benefits, I make sure they're able to enroll for their benefits, I help them with accessing their training, whether it's like required state training or they're looking for additional training to get certifications, for example. Help them with getting their teaching licenses renewed and ultimately fielding questions in that way. And then when somebody's ready to retire or resign, I also go through that process with them and make sure we're all set up for that.
All right.
Yeah. That might not be 100% of my job, but in the last 2.5 months, that's been a majority of it, but I'm sure I'm going to be learning quite a bit more because I started in July.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck.
Thank you. It's been great so far, so, all is well.
I get the opportunity to be the superintendent of the North Pole Community School District. This is my 4th year here. As superintendent, I do a lot of things and not a whole lot of each of it. I say an inch deep and a mile wide, and that I get to support all the different departments here, from nutrition to transportation to technology to business, and work with those directors on how we move forward in the different roles that they hold, while also supporting all of our buildings, from the 3 elementaries to the secondary buildings. And then really the primary part is working with the elected school board members So the board of directors, along with me, helped kind of set the vision and taking input from all stakeholders, but set the vision of the district and where do we want to go with different projects and facilities that we may build, different roles that we may add in terms of staffing for the district, in terms of instructional practices that we feel like are really important to have in the different classrooms. And so communicating and working with the school board members is a big part of it, and then supporting those different departments. And then day to day, it looks different. So that's the one thing I enjoy about my job is there's a lot of variety that I get to do. With the variety, one of the things I do have the opportunity to do is work with the local governments throughout the district. So as a school district, we're really made up of 5 communities. Polk City, Ankeny is in our school district now, North Ankeny, Elkhart, Alleman, and Sheldall are the primary ones. White Oak doesn't have a city government or a post office. It is in our school district, but there's no one really to work with out there. But in being a taxpayer entity as a public school district, we want to work with those other taxpayer entities like the cities to see how we can align our efforts and be as purposeful with taxpayer dollars as possible.
Hello, my name is Hunter Fleschner. I'm the Director of Communications for the North Polk Community School District. I like to spend about half my time within the office and then half my time roving around throughout the buildings, helping tell all the great stories, talking to students, working with building administrators, and then going back to the office and then kind of curating and putting that all into kind of a story and a nice package to then post out on social media and our website for all of our district families to share all the great news happening throughout the schools.
Sounds like fun. Do you have any favorite stories?
Favorite stories of this year? I mean, there's been a lot throughout the year, but just obviously we've only been here for a couple weeks here back in poll session. But a student at North Polk High School, Frankie Hugher, just actually published one of her own novels, and it's available throughout district libraries. It's available in the Ankeny Public Library and in Polk City Public Library. And so I'm kind of working on sharing that to all of our news stations that we have relationships with, and as well as our social media channels as well. So that's been a kind of a fun one to kind of kick off the school year.
My position is Director of Teaching and Learning for the entire system. I really enjoy my work. A lot of my work consists of working with adult learners, and so Monday morning we have 2-hour late starts. We do a lot of planning with our instructional coaches. We meet regularly and we plan learning that's engaging for adults. We like to get a lot of information from them about what it is that they like to learn and personalize some of those learning experiences for our teachers. So a lot of times when students aren't here on Monday mornings and district days, teachers are learning and growing, and so we can have a lot of great learning experiences in the classrooms for students. So that's a big part of my role. Coffee helps. I am a very big fan of coffee. I tend to go for my Starbucks order is a sugar-free latte, if you're wondering. I highly recommend. But yeah, I think that gives me a lot of fuel because a lot of my day is half in district office, half out into the classrooms, working with teachers and in meetings. So it's a bag of a lot of different things across the system, but it's all keeping the students of why we're here and just really having a great impact on teaching and learning across the system. So it looks very different.
My name is Matthew Blackmore, the Director of Student Services here for the district. I primarily work with students served in special education, our school counselors, our talented and gifted program, English language learners. I work with students that are served on 504 plans. So any type of service, including health services that are needed for students and families, they go through my office. Yeah, it's interesting. Every day is a little bit different. I think just like Mrs. Van Cleve, it has to start with coffee for sure. But oftentimes I start in different buildings across the district. So for example, today I was at Big Creek meeting with a family on some needs that they have. And then I had to come back to the high school and meet with a family over here. And then I have Department of Education meetings through the Iowa Department of Education, along with some team meetings here on campus. In fact, I just came over from Central, so I really kind of bounce around all 5 buildings in the district meeting the needs of students and families for the different services that we provide.
Also in the district office is the district registrar, Lynette Foster. She did not want to be recorded, and that's fine. She gave me her information, and I'm relaying that over to you guys. She is the point of contact for all new families to help them register their kids to enroll at North Polk. She works with each school secretary and principal on these new students enrolling and getting their information and classes rosters in Infinite Campus. She's the point of contact for existing families to update their registration every year and update any information that needs to change. She handles all open enrollment in and out students, new and existing. She maintains Infinite Campus so that all courses, students, households, staff assignments, and courses are coded correctly. She makes sure all the grading scales, report cards, tool rights are correct. She creates and runs reports for principals on student data in the system. She's the point of contact for state reporting and uploading all the correct data from our system to the state 3 times a year. This is so that we get the proper funding from the state, make sure that all course student data and staff are correct again. They count the IEP, the homeless, and the open enrollment, in and out, public, shared time students. All of those need to be accounted for. Upload student data to make sure all students can map test and take the ISASP, the standardized testing. Scores are then uploaded into Infinite Campus then. She's the tech person for Infinite to build out new grading scales or program new processes in our system. Examples would be creating letters to send out to families or attendance.